there has been lately this big push to say that China is super advanced when it comes to schools and education. And this is the latest one. There've been a bunch. Okay, I'll just play this for you quickly. It says, the U.S. education's system? Is that what you call it? Education's system? Isn't it the U.S. educational system?
Yes, I think this American needs to brush up on his English.
I think he didn't go to the U.S. education system.
Yes, okay,
or didn't stick around in it long. The U.S. education system is leaving our kids and our future behind. Meanwhile, China is building the future. Let's take a look.
China has just reformed its education system to turn every child into an artificial intelligence expert before the age of 15. Starting in first grade, it is now mandatory to learn how to program algorithms, train AI models, and understand how neural networks work. This isn't an extra workshop. It's part of the national curriculum. While other countries are still debating whether to introduce AI in classrooms, China has already made it a state policy.
Really?
Back to school, back to reality. Back to school, back to reality.
So we all know that it's back to school time, right? Back to school season.
School started on the 2nd for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, everyone's going back to school. China's going back to school.
Yeah.
Let's see what they're up
Okay.
to.
So we wanted to go through some of the things people are putting up with in China going to school. Transportation, number one. Here we have, your typical school transport on their way to school. These kids are going to kindergarten. And we wanted to see how many did this elderly lady manage to fit on her scooter. Let's see. You can look closely. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people on that scooter.
Yep.
Incredibly safe. They're all not wearing helmets.
Yep.
And we're going to explain a little later why you would see this kind of scene and why this kind of scene, by the way, is becoming more and more common. Because, well, we'll explain it a little later. Let's move on from transport. I wanted to show you guys what's going on here. And maybe some of you guys can guess. You've got a big police presence and a huge crowd of people. So what do you think's happening? You think there's a concert? Maybe Britney Spears is in town?
Yeah, absolutely, because that's who's popular.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Christina Aguilera or something?
Yeah, that's who's popular right now. Exactly.
Yeah, one of those. So, there's a huge thing. Maybe the Beatles.
yeah, that's who's popular right now.
Yeah. You got the cops saying, no, it's time for kids to leave school.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the police are playing.
Yeah, exactly. The police. Yeah. And look, there's a reason for this. It's a horrible reason, and that is school children are very often the target of attacks, revenge against society attacks. Now, these come in 2 forms, either knife attacks, and these, you can look it up. I've done videos about it. We've talked about it in the past, but usually middle-aged men, when they snap, they want to take out their frustrations on society. They go after children.
Yeah.
Okay. Either kindergartners or middle schoolers, and they go on stabbing sprees. It's awful. But you also get the vehicular homicides, which are more common in China these days, where they will just go ram into the students and the parents collecting the students when school comes out. So that's why that's such a dangerous time. When school comes out, that's why you have so many police there, so much presence, security guards. And it's just showing you there's a big problem in Chinese society that, children have to be protected every time they leave school, Yeah. I mean, anyway, let's get into dormitories. Because you get back to school, a lot of people stay in dormitories in school, especially in colleges and universities. So let's take a look at some dormitories here. This particular university, if you want to get drinking water, by the way, does that not look like such a sanitary, a wonderful place to get your drinking water? Doesn't it look amazing with all the rust and whatnot? It kind of looks like a trough where you wash your feet after you've been at the beach or something.
Yeah, it does.
No. Anyway, you have to pay. You see those systems, you swipe your student card on there and you actually have to pay to get drinking water.
China's living in the future. That's good high-tech stuff.
Oh, yeah. You saw those AI robots and stuff?
Oh, I meant just the tech they're using to make people pay for water.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now this, obviously the parents are not very happy about this. This is in a Gaozhou school dormitory in Guangxi, Hepu. Take a look at this. There are no mattresses. Children have to sleep on planks. These rather crappy planks, with nails sticking out.
China's living in the future, though.
Yeah, AI robots and all this fancy stuff. Not a very, broken planks is what you're sleeping on. There's your shower. There's your toilet.
Is your
sink,
trough.
your trough. Yeah, here are some kids getting ready to settle down for the night, and again, you can see no mattresses.
Ouch.
You're sleeping on a board. There's like particle board or something.
I'd like to think they'd help them set it up later,
What?
like some sort of mattress.
So you've seen sometimes they just put those like bamboo things or whatever.
That's true.
Those are the kind of toilets that you find in the dormitories where there's absolutely no privacy.
Nope.
Not very nice. And by the way, can you notice the little baskets? That's where
because you can't flush toilet paper.
Yeah, the plumbing can't handle it, so you actually wipe your ass and you throw your soiled, toilet paper in the basket next to you, which of course adds to the aroma.
Yeah, and if you don't have any, you're digging in that basket trying to find the cleanest square. We've all been
done
there.
it. Anyway, you like just make sure you use the other side.
Oh
Yeah.
man! Oh,
It's either that or you
man.
got to use your sock, bro.
Yeah,
You gotta use your sock.
or your underwear.
Yeah, one of the two.
We've all been there.
Yeah, we've all been there. Okay, let's move on. This is another university dormitory, and the people were so appalled they were sending pictures around.
China's living the future. Back off. You're just showing me fake propaganda.
This is all from the 2025 back to school season, by the way. This is not like from ancient
No.
times. Take a look at the way the paints come off of the wall because of, like obviously there's water damage from the air conditioner over there.
Yes.
Just the wooden planks, There looks like they got some kind of small mattress on there. That's, the sink where you'll be, I guess, washing up.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. There's your shower. Great. Love that. That looks great. It's got a ceiling fan, so you're good, and a camera watching you while you sleep.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, like the fact that they can afford to put a surveillance camera in there, but they can't like afford a lick of paint.
Come on.
Yeah, it's like, dude, get your act
太
together.
震惊了！来看一下视频。
This guy was pissed off.
Yeah. Yep.
哭什么哭啊？吵什么吵啊？别吵，本来就是学生啊，跟你们啊。可是这个寝室给了你们，为什么？
广西某地某学校一个学生宿舍安排300多张床位，300多个学生挤在一个宿舍里面，一个人打呼噜，大家都不要睡了。再说了，这么一个空间挤下300-400号人，过道这么小，如果发生一些什么火灾、地震，怎么跑？怎么跑？
So he's got a good point. That's a school in Guangxi, university in Guangxi, and they got 300 beds in the dormitory. Obviously they're stacked bunk beds, but there's very little space to room to move. Sorry. And what if there is a fire? What if there is an earthquake?
I was thinking about that.
How are you getting out? It's a death trap. It's terrible. But these are the conditions people are putting up with.
China's in the future, dude.
Yeah, and obviously they're living in the future. Just stick some LEDs on it. It's fine. Now, this is kind of scary. And this was at the Shenyang Normal University. Big university, very, very big, very rich city. And these are panicked messages between students, all asking if they've got diarrhea or vomiting medicine, because they're like, "Listen, my roommate's vomiting nonstop, or I'm vomiting, etc., etc." And they were like, during these messages, they were like, "Don't, the east part of the university, do not go there. Do not eat any of the food. Do not drink any of the water. There's
Gotcha.
some kind of water contamination." And yeah. The water was contaminated.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of videos like that out of China.
Yeah, it's all over the country you're getting this kind of thing. But this was in the university, right? Now it gets really crappy. These are the students. They all had to go to the hospital. You can see it's a hospital. You can tell by those, or clinic, by those, those cloth things.
Those cloth awards.
Remember we
from the
showed you
CCP?
last time where they're
Yeah.
kicking people in the ass and
Yeah.
stuff. They have those up. And they're all sitting there on IV drips. You can see the IV drips.
Yeah. Try to get that 5W40 out of their system.
Exactly. So Shenyang Normal University students collective poisoning follow-up. Some students have spoken out on Xiaohongshu. We all know Little Red Book or Red Note, where the TikTok refugees went for like a minute and then they never went back. And they received private messages threatening to dox them. The other party claimed that the public security authorities have already intervened, so delete the post. The matter is already being handled and your account has been identified. According to the students, currently the school has not issued any safety reminders or notifications to other students. It has only notified students to remember to watch the military parade tomorrow and take commemorative photos.
So not only did they say, don't talk about this or you're going to be in trouble, also watch the propaganda parade.
Yes.
Yes.
More students got sick. It got worse after that. Okay? Because they didn't notify the students. Okay, this is what they were notified for. It said, good evening, everyone. According to work arrangements, undergraduates and graduate courses will be suspended on the morning of September 3rd. Second level party, blah, 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 all this crap. And then they're talking about like it's the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. You know, this nonsense. They said, tomorrow morning, please watch the live stream and send your photos to your respective department heads.
Gosh.
Photos must show half of yourself and the live stream content, and the surroundings must be clean and tidy. Please compile and send them to me. The deadline is tomorrow at 8 p.m. So this was sent out while everybody is puking and vomiting and having to go to the hospital because they've been poisoned.
Wow.
And they're told you must take a photo of yourself watching the live stream. So you got to be in it and the live stream's got to be in it and the surroundings have to be clean and tidy, and compile them and send them.
That is the most Orwellian thing I've ever heard in my life.
Isn't it crazy? Yeah. This is what the university students are supposed to do because it'll be used as propaganda, obviously. Yeah. And because they didn't send out a notice, more people got sick. And that's what happens when you can't talk about things, right? Yeah. Even one of the teachers got sick. Yeah. You take a look at his message. Classmates, the teacher has has food poisoning and is vomiting and having diarrhea. Sorry, I can't teach you today. I will make up for it when I have time. Please tell each other. So he's just sending a notice out to his class. Now, you can see the note. This is taken from a DM from Li Laoshi. You know Li Laoshi? He's a very well-known dissident, and he's a source of a lot of information. And the person sending this to him said, Teacher Li, the counselors at Shenyang Normal University knocked on classroom doors during class, warning students not to post school news online.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, again, because it's a sensitive time, they want this military parade to go on without a hitch.
This is so sad.
Even something like a poisoning incident where everyone's getting, water, food poisoning, and they're not allowed to make a fuss. They're not allowed to let anyone know.
They're not allowed to warn people.
Yeah, they're not allowed to put out a school-wide notice because it might take away from the parade.
I can't believe people look to this country like an inspirational government.
It's horrible. It's total control. And your health and your well-being come absolutely not even second, 100th to, the image of the Communist Party of China. Absolutely disgusting what they did. Yeah. This is just one of those DMs basically threatening, saying, listen, delete your posts. It's already being taken care of, that type of thing. Right. Let's move on to classrooms, okay? Because it's back to school, right? We got to deal with classrooms. These propagandists have absolutely no shame. Okay, and they post things like this. The Chinese government has announced that all schools must provide their students with convertible siesta chairs starting in February 2026 to facilitate midday naps. China has a deeply ingrained midday napping culture prevalent in all ages, institutions, and workplaces. You got to ask yourself, why do young little children, all full of energy, let's say an 8-year-old, why do they need to nap in the middle of the day?
Because they're overworked.
Because they're forced to study so hard that they run out of energy and they're sleep deprived and they cannot function. So bad.
It's rote memorization as well.
Yes, so bad that they have to sleep at their desks in order to function.
That's a weird flex.
It's a weird flex. Like, you're basically saying we work these children like slaves until they can't keep their eyes open anymore. Yeah. And so then they get to sleep at their desks, not like normal kids go play at the playground or something. They have to sleep at their desks so that they can wake up and immediately resume their studies.
Until like 6 p.m.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then go home and do extra work.
Yes.
Now, I even decided to do a little bit more research into this because I know personally, and you know personally, listen, dude, we worked at schools. And I worked in a kindergarten, then I moved up and worked in a primary school, middle school, and a high school. And then, I went into the corporate field and in universities too. The children are so overworked, it's not even funny. I felt so bad for them.
Yeah.
They have no chance to be children.
When we talked to our wives, they studied so hard. And they retained very little from those days because it was rote memorization for tests.
It's it.
We
And-
compare me and my wife compare our childhoods all the time, and it's just sad.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have time to play. They don't have time to go mess around with their friends. They study all day at school, and it's very strict. And it's all in preparation for the Gaokao, which is the the university
SAT,
entrance
yeah.
exam. Yeah, it's super important. So they study all day. Then they go after school. They get a little break to like eat something or something, and then they have to go do studying other things, study English, study piano, study whatever. They do something else, and then it never stops. Anyway, so I decided I'd give these propagandists the benefit of the doubt and like play devil's advocate. And I asked, Google, all right, so tell me what's up with the sleeping stuff? And they're like, sleeping in the context of Chinese school kids can refer to two main situations. Children sleeping less than the recommended hours due to academic pressure, or children taking approved midday naps in schools that provide special furniture like convertible desk chair beds to enable rest during the school day. A significant portion of Chinese students face sleep deprivation, which has led to the government to include sleep hours in school evaluations. Okay, so sleep deprivation in Chinese schools. High academic pressure. Students are often burdened with heavy study loads and after-school classes, leading to a culture where long sleep hours are seen as a sign of laziness, according to China Daily, state media, by the way, and The Hill. Government intervention. The Chinese Ministry of Education has recognized the problem and started incorporating sleep hours into the evaluation of schools to encourage improvements. Impact on health. Sleep deprivation is linked to negative outcomes, including poor mental health, behavioral problems, and physical health issues, according to the CDC and South China Morning Post, another state media outlet.
Not state media.
Well, it's not state media? No. Well, it's owned by China.
Yeah.
So, I mean, here's the thing. The fact that they are trying to treat this problem by making, preparations or accommodations for sleeping is the wrong way. It's treating the symptoms. It's not treating the cause. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These poor kids are so pushed to the max. Anyway, let's look at some realistic classrooms around China outside of the big flashy cities.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the state of that. By the way, it's an active classroom. You can see the stuff written on the blackboard. This is not some like decommissioned classroom from Fallout or something.
Yeah.
This is not Chernobyl.
Yeah.
This is an active Chinese classroom.
Yeah.
So is this. By the way, can you see the face filter?
Yeah. They're built in.
All Chinese phones these days have face filters built in. So,
Yeah.
that's why that kid has a mouth on her hands.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can take a look at the state of this classroom again.
Yeah.
The stuff's peeling in the background. Look at the desk of the teacher. It's rusty and falling apart, like... No air conditioning.
Nope.
They have one working fan, though. No lights, by the way. You see the lights aren't on?
Yeah.
There's the water, because you can't drink the water in China. You have to have these like water cooler jugs.
Yeah.
And do you see what they got there? They put the water cooler down. It's got like a hand pump on top so you can pump out some water. And this kid's fancy. He's got a bottled water over there.
Ooh.
But you can't drink the
Splurge.
water. Yeah. Take a look at the wall, cracks in the wall. It's all falling apart. You know what I mean? The reason I'm showing you this is it's so contrary to the propaganda
Yeah,
that you see
especially
coming
right
out.
now.
They're like, China's in the future. Their kids get to, use fancy AI.
iPads and float around in space and
Exactly.
study algorithms.
There was another one that went around with millions and tens of millions of views where they were showing like some very advanced campus in Shenzhen, which is an experimental campus. It's kind of like a showcase for like the latest way of teaching and stuff, pretending that that's all of China. And also they completely like did it up with AI and stuff too. But it's not. This is also China here. Let's take a look. Look at the state of the wall. Okay? This is a Chinese classroom.
China is a Timu country.
Yes.
I didn't say that. I was reading chat.
Yeah. See, 2025?
Yeah.
These are warnings for the 2025 summer vacation.
rules.
It's like, don't drown, basically.
Yeah.
That's actually what it says. There's literally trash on the floor. Look.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's something else that's been going on. Schools
Yeah.
are shutting down.
Yeah.
Okay. What you got here is you got a guy, he's on the scaffolding, he's fixing a building or whatever, and he's filming the flag raising ceremony at a
morning,
school. Okay, this
Every morning
happens
they do
every
that.
morning. You do the whole like flag raising and
Plays the Communist National
Yep.
Anthem.
And you can see that's a large school. It's like double story. It's got tons of classrooms and stuff. And what are there, like 9 students? Well, it's probably like 12 students there.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Now, this is happening for a number of reasons. You see, in your different rural areas, you have the school.
Yeah.
Okay. So out of the big cities, you'll have a school. Even in some of the mid-sized cities, you have school for that district. Okay. And your child can only go to the school where you buy your house, like that district. That's why house prices are crazy in certain areas. It's like that all over the world, really. But anyway, what you're seeing a lot of urbanization, people moving to the cities. Okay. And also, you're seeing this demographic collapse is playing into it a little bit, where you get less and less births are playing into it. There's a number of reasons why, but there are less and less children going to these more rural schools. So it's led to kind of a nasty situation. Let's just take a look at a few other examples here. See, that's a big school. There's like 5 students.
Yeah, that's nice sounds.
So what's going on here is a bunch of students outside of their school saying, we want to go to school.
Yeah.
And the reason is the government has decided it's not worth our time. And we just don't have the resources to keep these schools open. So let's just consolidate them. So like if you've got a rural area and say you've got in that town, there's a school, that town, there's a school. So you got 4 or 5 schools. They're like, shut them all down and we'll just use one school. And all the people from the outlying areas have to go to that one school. Now, this sounds like maybe a fairly okay idea, but it's not, because these are what are called left behind children. Because of China's rapid urbanization, people from the rural areas, they go to work in the cities as migrant workers. They can't actually stay there because they can't afford to buy a house there, so they can't get residence there. So they stay in the rural areas. Their families stay in the rural areas. They go work. Grandparents look after their left behind children. It's a horrible thing because these kids are growing up without parents.
That's how a huge chunk of China runs.
Yeah, exactly. So the parents work and then they'll come back like once a year for like the New Year festival or something. So the grandparents have to take them to school.
Yeah.
So now it's okay if you've got a village school that's like maybe a little walk down the road or something. But now you've got these elderly people and they're like mad old trying to take little children to a school that's like 10 kilometers away or 5 kilometers away, whatever. And that's why you saw in the beginning that woman with like the e-bike with a bunch of little children on it. It's because that's the grandparent taking, a whole bunch of kids to school. And it's hard for them to do it. It's dangerous. But like, okay, I'm just going to play this right now. I'll take it down. There's a whole whack of these rural schools now that have been shut down because the government just decided that it's not worth their time to keep them open, because of the amount of students and the amount of money it costs for them to hire teachers or to run it, So I've actually got a list. These are all very recent, these protests. I got this from the yesterday guys, the Zhuotian guys. And they've been documenting all these kind of protests. And you can see all around the country, actually, this is happening. And a lot of this is happening in Guangdong. I'll just fast forward because, you've seen one rural school protest. You've seen them all, right?
Right.
This was just like the second. This is on the third. You can
I
see
did want to bust a myth real quick while you play that.
Yeah.
There's this, I see propaganda say this. They're like, school in China is free. And that's pretty wild. It's a communist country. Of course it should be free, right? But it's
Yeah.
not.
It's not at all.
It's in the law that says tuition fees are waived for grades 1 through 9. Okay.
Yeah.
So 1 through 9 is supposed to be free. However, it's not.
No.
And not at all. There's things called I'll translate into English, but basically miscellaneous fees, accommodation fees, supplementary tuition fees, and registration fees. That's literally just tuition.
And nap fees too,
Yes,
by the
and
way.
nap fees. This is literally just tuition.
Yes.
So the average Chinese person pays 17% of their annual income into tuition.
Yeah.
It is not free. It's not a communist country. It doesn't have free tuition.
Yeah, and I actually have an example of this. Let me fast forward all this protest stuff, because you guys, like I said, you've seen one rural school protest, you've seen them all.
Sure.
A lot of compassion for these kids. It's horrible to not be able to attend your school.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, as a father myself, it's devastating when you have to move your kids out of a
Yeah.
school. But then to expect these elderly, you notice it's just elderly grandparents.
Oh, because the
that
parents
here.
are making minimum wage at factories in the city.
Yeah, exactly. So for these grandparents to somehow get these kids to school far away every day and fetch them, it's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Apparently, when you've seen one rural protest school thing, you've seen a lot. Okay, so sorry. Let's see. I have a quick list here of some of the schools here. We're not going to read them out for you, but if you wanted to take a look, here are some of them. Okay, just within this very short period of time, this last week or so,
Wow.
in this back to school
Yeah. Season.
time. Yeah. Now, it's not only rural areas that are experiencing this, okay? Some big places too. Shanghai too. This is Shanghai Pudong New Area. This school only had 22 students enroll in it, but it has 23 faculty members. And so it just decided
That's
that
a
it's
small classroom.
Yeah. So they decided they're just not going to open.
Yeah, of course.
And, the parents, of course, are not very happy about that. But it's a bit of a mess. Back to school's not very cool
No,
this year.
certainly not.
Yeah, those are some of the
is-
parents.
What is she wearing?
It's one of those, I don't want to get tanned or whatever.
Like a proboscis.
It's
mask.
terrible. Yeah. Here's just another example of the dwindling students in some of these schools,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This dude's walking around looking in
Yeah.
the different classrooms and seeing, the different
Wow.
classes, seeing how many kids.
So a bunch
are
of things. Demographic collapse, like you said.
Urbanization.
Urbanization, lack of money, the economy's going down.
Yes,
A lot of
and
things.
the governments are like, screw this, we're just going to.
Well, they don't care about the poor people.
Yeah.
Or not even poor. It's like,
Yeah.
the not elite.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, here is, to your point, on September 1st at the Zhangzhai Wandalian Experimental School I love how they call it experimental.
Yeah.
In
So they do in,
Caoxian
like,
County,
chemistry?
Hezhi City, Shandong Province. Man, there's a lot of there's quite an address
long
there.
name.
It's like, where do you go to school? I go to school at the
Okay, we get it, we get it,
Zhangzhai
we get it, we get it.
Wandalian Experimental
All right.
School in Caoxian County, Hezhi City, Shandong Province. Anyway,
Yes.
the nap fee was increased from 300 yuan to 1,000 yuan, and the accommodation fee was increased from 1,000 yuan to 2,000 yuan.
So all those NAP programs from the government turn out you
Yes.
pay for them anyway.
Yeah, it's a nap fee.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're gonna rest? Well, you're gonna pay for that. What
That's
on earth?
crazy.
Yeah, dude. Whatever. It's rubbish. So these poor parents, that's gonna double the school fees,
Yep.
right?
The tuition that they say doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, school's free. It's
Yeah.
not free in China. It's rubbish. So yeah, they're obviously protesting about that because that's not cool.
Yeah,
Their
that's
children will
another-
not be allowed in.
It's another big uprising happening.
Yeah.
Eh? It's not just factories, it's schools
Yeah,
too.
schools. So back to school is definitely not cool. So yes, I just wanted to show you that you've got fantasy and you've got reality.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing to point out.
Yeah. Now, of course, you do get decent schools too. And if you go to the big, expensive cities, the classrooms are packed. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like sardines in there.
Yeah.
It's like 60 kids in a class. It's not nice. But they're better equipped and they don't look as poor as this and or as bad as this. But even in the big cities, you get schools where the
Yep.
paint's peeling off the
Oh,
wall.
you get schools that look like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just one of those things.
For sure.
I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember.
All the hardworking Americans out there, we're going to roast some shills.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like it when lots of people come in, do you? Yeah, it's looking scary.
Come on, dude.
Is this not North Korea level? It's getting bad these days.
Yeah.
So he's in Iranian state media.
Yes.
He's in Russian state media, and now he's in China state media. Does that not follow the path of a lot of
Oh,
these guys that we
yes,
follow?
absolutely.
Santa Claus told a little boy the sky is blue, and the researcher in the scorpion said, wait, Santa Claus isn't real, therefore the sky isn't blue.
But first, a quick montage of me walking through the horribly polluted streets of Beijing.
Close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my